All right, let's talk about something that's been sitting in my chest since the moment I saw this clip. Jalen Brunson just stood on a stage in front of thousands of people at Fanatics Fest in New York, next to Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, and basically told the entire league, we're not done. And honestly, I needed to hear that. If you needed to hear it too, smash that like button right now, because we are about to break this whole thing down. So here's the setup. This wasn't some random interview. This was a full panel. Kings of New York, moderated by Taylor Rooks, sitting down with four of the guys who just brought a championship back to Madison Square Garden after 53 years of waiting. 53 years. Let that number sink in for a second. Grandparents who never saw it happen. Fans who passed away still waiting for it. And now here we are, the defending champs, and Brunson is on stage talking about doing it again. And the way he said it wasn't cocky. It wasn't arrogant. It was that quiet, business-like confidence that honestly should terrify the rest of the NBA. He basically said he expects the top two seeds in the East to be tough. No surprise there. But he made it clear he trusts this group night in and night out because of the habits they built over the last few years. His exact point was that if they keep that same work ethic, or even sharpen it, he likes where they stand. But then he said something that stuck with me even more. He said they have to flip the page fast and put the championship trophy behind them. And then he caught himself and said it again, almost himself. Not yet, not yet. That's the mentality of someone who already knows how hard it is to win it twice. And that's exactly why I'm not worried about complacency with this Knicks team. And if you agree, drop a comment right now telling me you're not worried either. Because I want to see how many of us are feeling this the same way. Now, let's rewind for anyone who needs a full picture. Because what this team did last season was not normal. This was not a lucky run. The Knicks went through the entire playoffs and put together one of the most dominant postseasons in the history of this league. 16 wins, 3 losses. Read that again. 16-3 on the way to beating San Antonio in 5 games in the finals. That is not a team that snuck through. That is a team that steamrolled the competition round after round, series after series, and made it look almost unfair at times. And at the center of it, Brunson didn't just play well. He was voted Finals MVP unanimously, every single vote. 32.5 points a game, 4.5 assists, over 4 rebounds a night in the biggest games of his life. This is a guy who was doubted his entire career, told he was too small, too slow, not a real number one option. And he just went out and put together one of the great finals performances we've seen in years. If that doesn't give you chills as a fan, I don't know what will. But here's where it gets real, and here's why what Brunson said actually matters so much. We are living in the most wide-open era the NBA has ever seen. 8 different champions in 8 straight, seasons going back to 2019. 8! No repeat winner since Golden State pulled it off back-to-back in 2017 and 2018. That's almost a decade of pure chaos at the top of this league. Teams rising and falling, superstars getting hurt, rosters getting blown up the very next summer. Winning it once in this era is historic. Winning it twice in a row would be legendary, something people talk about for the next 20 years. And it's not like the league is standing still either. This offseason has already brought major trades, big signings, rosters getting reshuffled all across the board. Other teams are gearing up. Other fan bases are convinced this is their turn. And I get it. That's the league. That's competition. But I'll say this as a fan who has waited my entire life for this moment. I am not scared of the noise. I've watched this group all year. I've watched them battle adversity, close out games late, answer every single challenge that got thrown at them. This isn't a team that got hot for 2 months. This is a team that built something. And that's exactly why hearing Brunson stand up there with that same calm, locked-in energy hits different. He's not selling hope. He's not talking about potential. He's talking about habits, about work, about a group that already knows what it takes because they just did it. When your franchise player is the one saying, I like our chances, and backing it up with the same humility and hunger that got you the ring in the first place, that's when you know this isn't just fan optimism talking. That's a real belief coming straight from the locker room. So here's my honest take. As someone who has followed every single high and low this franchise has been through, I am not just hoping for a repeat. I expect this team to be right there in June again. I expect Brunson to be the same problem. He was all of last postseason, And I expect every team gunning for the Knicks to find out the hard way that beating a champion is a whole different challenge than beating a contender. If you're with me on this, I need you to do two things right now. Hit that like button so this conversation reaches more people who love this team as much as we do. And drop a comment telling me straight up, do you believe in a repeat? Are you as confident as Brunson is? Or are you a little more cautious after watching how brutal this league has become? I want to see your takes. I want to argue about this in the comments. I want to hear from the fans who've been riding with this franchise through the rough years, because we earned this confidence. This is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated seasons in franchise history, and I am not going anywhere. If you want more breakdowns like this one, more honest, unfiltered fan reactions to everything happening with this team, make sure you're subscribed and you got that notification bell on, because this offseason is just getting started, and I plan on covering every single piece of it with you. Let's go get number 2. Claude et umae pod cameros. Por favor, verifique as respostas.